A few weeks ago on the oldest Anarchy server in Minecraft, one of the largest bases in its history was swiftly destroyed by griefers. Called SpawnMasons, it was the culmination of many years of work. But what if I told you that out of the 10 million blocks placed at the base, every single one was stolen from other players, and they were all kept inside the most sophisticated item stash ever built in survival Minecraft, Gringotts, a stash so advanced that stealing from it was almost impossible, and that's not an exaggeration. The sheer amount of time it would take thieves to find what they were looking for prevented them from stealing. The builders used a special automated system to withdraw the materials they needed using bots, almost like an Amazon warehouse, and they used this system to construct a base unlike anything ever seen on the server before. Today we'll be discussing the secret behind the base SpawnMasons on 2b2t, explaining how it was built, the state-of-the-art item stash that was utilized, and where the millions of blocks placed at the base actually came from. I'm sure some of you are waiting in 2b2t's queue right now, and if you are, why not play some old school RuneScape, a game that I've played for many years, so needless to say, I've put a few hours into it. But if you're a new player looking to get started, it's actually the perfect time with the new Fresh Start worlds. All players start as equals with fresh characters and zero skills. You play in a reset world with a new economy and grand exchange. You can play for free or unlock even more adventures with membership. Your Fresh Start character can be moved to the main game at any time, along with any progression and items earned during the Fresh Start world. But with so many skills to train, quests to embark on, and fellow players to encounter, there's something here for everyone to enjoy. To get started on a Fresh Start world, click the link in the description below. And a huge thank you to Old School RuneScape for sponsoring today's video. Our story begins with a group that is hidden in plain sight for over half a decade, the SpawnMasons. Founded in 2017, this secretive group has left their mark on the server in very unusual ways, such as constructing a massive symbol at spawn with tens of millions of obsidian, building a large variety of bases, both big and small, and the list goes on. In June of 2020, the Masons' main base was compromised and quickly destroyed, so naturally they began planning their next one. There's an old saying on the server, "I recognize that block, see you soon." For many griefers, all it takes is a few natural blocks to find a location, and as many longtime viewers already know, that's not a joke. They wanted to ensure that their new base could not be cord exploited in any way. They would choose a location about 1 million blocks away from spawn and began destroying the terrain. Like many other bases in 2020, TNT bombers were the preferred method of removing the landscape. After about a month, 40% of a massive hole had been bombed out before something unexpected happened. The server's admin, Housemaster, patched the bug that allowed TNT bombers to operate in the first place. The entire project had come to a complete stop. Digging the rest of the hole manually was seen as too time-consuming, so the entire project was put on hold and the Masons put their focus on other endeavors. For about a year, the crater remained undisturbed, but in April of 2021, a newer member of the Masons named Zippy learned about the project and started wondering if it would be possible to finish the hole just by digging. He gave it a shot. For 10 hours a day, using baritone, he was able to use multiple accounts at the same time to automatically remove all of the stone, dirt, and other materials left in the crater. Pretty soon it was complete. The entire hole had been mined out, and as fate would have it, a series of events would all suddenly happen that would bring the Masons back to this location. In June of 2021, it was revealed to the public that a massive exploit named NoCom had been used on the server for years to track the movements of every single player. The Masons had already known about this, as one of their members, leijurv, had played a major role in expanding and utilizing the exploit. the coordinates of many bases found using NOCOM were given to the Masons, and they would then proceed to steal over 200 million items total from all locations combined. But with this many items came a lot of problems. They now had so many random shulkers of items that organizing them all would be a nightmare. They wondered if manually sorting them was even possible. Well, leijurv came up with a solution, something the server had never seen before. One of the most advanced item stashes in Minecraft history. It was called Gringotts, with the name being a reference to the vault from the Harry Potter series. And how it was made is wild. First, the Masons would take the majority of the stolen shulkers to the massive hole that they had just finished, and then keep the rest at other stashes spread across the server. This was to prevent the items from being destroyed in one single attack. From there, a sorting system would be set up and run by automated bots, where the contents of every single shulker at all stashes were recorded, and the data was stored on a secret website. All shulkers were renamed to "This is a SpawnMason shulker," but the pattern of upper or lowercase in the name was random and unique to each one, which helped the system identify it. On the website, the Masons could keep track of how many shulkers of items they had, and where exactly those items were stored. If you then needed a specific set of items, the bots could withdraw exactly what you were looking for. Need an entire inventory of concrete? No problem. Looking for a specific written book in a random shulker? The bots have you covered. Now, no state-of-the-art stash is complete without a proper security system. The same bots that were kept online at the stashes also acted as sentries. If an unknown username came into render distance, it would alert all the Masons online with a Discord message. Even if someone broke into the stash, all of the shulkers were unsorted and randomly spread throughout the chests. Only the bots knew the exact location of all items. It would be so time-consuming for thieves to sort through everything manually that they would be caught and promptly killed before any of them could find what they were looking for. The Gringotts system was not only secure, but the ability to withdraw anything from a pool of 200 million items effectively gave the SpawnMasons a form of creative mode. And with a massive blank canvas now in front of them, they would make history. The first thing that was accomplished was turning the bottom of the hole into a giant Mason symbol. Not only was it cool to look at, but it accomplished their original goal of obscuring any natural terrain, making it harder to find the base if an image happened to leak. The Masons agreed that the theme of the base would be floating islands, and would begin to call the base Sky Masons. To do a little bit of trolling, everyone at the base used a custom mod that would change their coordinates to be tens of millions of blocks out. It also removed things such as rain and biome colors that could potentially reveal the location. There were several notable incidents where the Masons leaked information, aka the bedrock pattern, and griefers thought they had the coordinates. Many proceeded to travel 20 million blocks out, only to find absolutely nothing. They were confident in their ability to hide the base, so they actually started live streaming themselves while construction was taking place, and this would cause Sky Masons to become the #1 target of griefers on the server, but it also caused many builders to want to participate. The Masons had a strict protocol where guest builders were forced to use a mod that changed their coordinates, and had to use an account that was already at the base. But thanks to this system, the list of contributors eventually grew to 78. Every single floating island at the base had its own personality and ranged from simplistic to incredibly detailed. There were silly ones, serious ones, and many were also inside jokes to the group. Some of the guest builders commented that they would wander the base for hours and still find builds they hadn't seen before. By the summer of 2022, Sky Masons had grown to become one of the largest bases ever built on 2b2t. Some of the members claimed that it was now larger than the previous record holder, Mu Megabase. Over 10 million blocks had been placed at Sky Masons, and if you include the hole that was dug out underneath, over 100 million blocks had been removed in total. And by this point, across all stash locations, the Gringotts system had grown to over 500 million items. But remember, this is 2b2t, so I think you know what's about to happen. Somehow, the true coordinates to SpawnMasons were leaked, and the exact details of this leak are still unknown, but one of the server's most active griefing groups, the 5th Column, managed to get their hands on them. One day in October of 2022, the 5th Column pulled up and began destroying every build they could. When they came across the items, there was no way for them to possibly steal everything, so they took a few shulkers before simply blowing it up. After many hours of griefing, the entire base had taken severe damage. For any other group, a grief of this magnitude would be devastating. But remember, the Gringotts system was decentralized, so even though one of the stash locations had been destroyed, the others were still intact, meaning the automated system continued to be operational. So you know what this means? The Masons may once again be homeless, but with the power of the Gringotts system, they will have the capability to rebuild wherever they decide to go next. SpawnMasons was an example of the creativity that can happen when a game like Minecraft is approached in an unorthodox way, and players are not bound by the rules of a typical Minecraft server. Now armed with the server's largest stash, and with a massive update on the horizon, it opens up a world of possibilities. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and follow my socials. So take it easy, Fit Fam, and stay alive out there.